Okay, so a few people have asked me about the setup on the Cheerson CX20. Despite appearances, this is a Cheerson. I've just rebodied it from my previously smashed up version. So the main question has been, how does the video get connected into the bottom? So this particular one I'm running with a G2D, which is the plastic version. And if we have a look in here, we can see I've got everything self-contained into one unit. The whole thing is clipped into the bottom. If I disconnect everything, we can see that it just slides off. So when the gimbal comes, you get this bottom section, which is a simple runner. It just glues straight onto it, or sorry, screws straight onto it, with two screws into the holes that are already in the base. The actual gimbal consists of two sections. You've got the upper section which slides onto it and is on a few rubber balls, and then you'll have the main gimbal part, which is all pretty free running. Mine is, as you can tell, glued together after numerous crashes. All I've done is I've taken a little tiny transmitter. This is a kind of Fat Shark compatible, £20 off eBay job. I've got a skew planer. This is a left-hand thread, or a left-hand circular polarized, and I've just glued it to the top. Well, I've glued it to some Velcro and I've Velcroed it to the top, which gives it a little bit of flexibility. Underneath you get pitch roll, which is just on two JST connectors. There's a 12-volt supply here. I've made up a little cable which just joins the two together so that I can do a supply that comes off of here and feeds up to my transmitter. So the transmitter's on that little thin one there and comes round, and then the other side of the transmitter comes out and goes to a GoPro connector. I'm not going to show you it plugged into the GoPro because I'm using the GoPro to film this. So the whole thing, here's your runner. The whole thing simply slides on, push it all the way home. You connect up your connectors. Inside, you may or may not be able to see it. It says that the negative's on the outside and the positive's on the inside. So you make sure that the black is to the outside. Chuck it on. Connect up the 12 volts. Again, negative to the outside. And the whole thing is pretty much self-contained within the bottom of the aircraft. On this version, I have in fact swapped out the old knackered legs. The previous legs are much shorter, and they are just incredibly fragile. This has been crashed a lot, but even so, they just fall to pieces. These are just some off of eBay. Simple. I think they're actually Phantom ones. I've just extended them out with a bit of coat hanger. And a bit of hot glue to stick them in place, and screwed them into the bottom, which means that it's got plenty of room really to swing around and not catch on the bottom. With the previous ones, it did have a habit of catching the camera on the ground, which meant it would just sit against the ground shaking. So that's that video. Somebody else has asked me about battery trays. I'll do that in another video.